It's the end of an era for an East End restaurant that says they've been forced to close their doors after 30 years in the neighborhood, leaving some of their customers disappointed.
They treated me to breakfast last week to say, just say happy holidays. They didn't mention anything about them closing, so I was actually truly surprised.
Longtime patrons like Joanne Lissy had to come find out for themselves if the Tulip Steakhouse was really closing its doors, a staple for many who frequent Queen Street and Coxwell.
The facts need to be understood about why this is happening.
How'd you feel about when you found out that it was closing?
A little disappointed, actually. It's a little surprise to me.
Calls to the restaurant went unanswered, but the Tulip Steakhouse went to Facebook to announce the closure of the diner, thanking patrons for their support over the last 3 decades, saying, quote, "Unfortunately, business conditions have changed regarding our lease agreement in ways we can no longer accommodate, and we have been left with no choice." Over 330 comments were left on the post. In one of them, the restaurant indicated they walked away because of a rent hike to $10,000.
It means a lot, guys.
The realities of skyrocketing rents has plagued many mom and pop shops in Toronto, with businesses detailing how these increases have ultimately led to their demise. Just recently, popular coffee shop Grindr had to close their shop, saying they were unable to reach an agreement with their landlord. In these moments, it's loyal customers who say they also lose out.
Whatever we can do to help those businesses to survive, we have that duty as citizens.
Velotique, a bike shop just blocks away from the Tulip Steakhouse, has been in the Beaches neighborhood for over 30 years. Rob Bartel stepped in as the owner 6 years ago.
We're in a relatively high rent part of Toronto.
Bartel says though the Beaches and neighboring Leslieville are popular in name, they sometimes lose business because they're not always easy to get to.
There's not quite so many ingresses and outgresses from a transportation perspective. So sometimes it's a little bit out of the way, and we do maybe lose a little business to the downtown, which is a little more accessible.
The steakhouse isn't calling it quits just yet, saying they are hoping to find another location for their restaurant. For City News, I'm Faiza Amin.